Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nosa. I'm a medical doctor in the UK and I make videos on medicine and lifestyle. So today I thought I should make a video on how to study and prepare for PLAB 1. I mean, to be honest, this is a fairly highly requested video on my channel and I thought, okay, I should finally get around to making something for you guys. I know the next PLAB date I saw on the GMC website was on the 25th of June, so hopefully I can get this video out just in time for you guys to prepare. I personally took the PLAB 1 exam in November 2017 and trust me, it's a straightforward exam that you can easily pass as long as you prepare the right way. Just watch this video to the end to get my top tips on how to prepare for this exam and trust me, you'll be fine. So this video is going to be divided into sections. You can check the description box below for the timestamp, so you can just jump to whichever part you feel is most relevant to you. But basically I'm going to start with a quick overview of what the PLAB 1 entails, then go on to how to prepare, and lastly end with whether you should attend one of these courses you've probably heard of or not. PLAB 1 is a 3-hour multiple choice written exam with 180 questions. This works out to about 1 minute/60 seconds per question, so clearly time is limited in the exam. Majority of people I know of or I've heard of that have failed the exam have not necessarily failed because they did not have the medical knowledge required to pass the exam. They failed because of time constraints. They didn't get to finish their papers and therefore they lost a lot of points as a result. It's very important to be aware that this exam you have to be very time conscious. In terms of level of difficulty, the PLAB 1 exam is designed for what the average foundation year 2 trainee doctor in the UK will be able to answer. If you're not based in the UK, a foundation year 2 doctor is a doctor that has 2 years of experience after medical school. So when I took the PLAB 1 exam, I had no experience working as a doctor after medical school. So if you've not had any experience, don't worry about it. If you prepare well, you'll be fine. PLAB 1 covers every specialty possible you can think of, okay? Internal medicine being the biggest component. A full list of all the possible specialties that can come up will be in the description box down below, but basically every medical specialty you can think of is a potential question in PLAB 1. The PLAB 1 pass mark varies year by year, but generally is between 60 to 62%. It really depends on how everyone else has done. If everyone else did badly, the pass mark is going to be lower. If everyone did really well, the pass mark is going to be higher. In the past 5 years, the pass rate for this exam, so the percentage of applicants that have actually passed this exam, has varied between 64 to 79%. So I would say that's a fairly decent number of people passing the PLAB 1 exam per year. If you'd like to get more details about the PLAB 1 exam in terms of registering and how to become a doctor in the UK, then I've got a video which I'll link up here on how to become a doctor in the UK if you want to watch that right after this video. Finally, we're going to talk about how to prepare for PLAB 1, okay? So in terms of preparing for PLAB 1, I would say you need a minimum of 4 weeks. Actually, 4 weeks is perfect to me. In general, I would say people take about 4 to 8 weeks to prepare depending on your individual circumstances. So I personally didn't have any job. I wasn't in school. I had already graduated, so I could dedicate my whole time to preparing for the exam. Therefore, I needed 4 weeks. If, for example, you have commitments like work, school, or whatever commitments you might have, then you might need a bit longer, which is 8 weeks. But I would say I was studying around 10 hours every day. In terms of what materials to use to study for PLAB 1, the one material that is a necessity, it is a must, it is non-negotiable, okay? It is the 1,700 MCQs you might have heard of, but if you haven't, I'll have it linked in the description box down below. The reason why I say that this 1,700 MCQs are a must is because these questions are very similar to what you get in the exam. Some of them are even identical, so you need to make sure that you use this resource. The best way to approach these questions is to work through them with a study partner and then understand why certain answers are right and why certain answers are wrong. Also learn there'll be buzzwords like what you call clinchers, where if you read this in a question stem, you know that this is the answer. There's a list of clinchers in my description box down below that you can use to help identify questions immediately. That way you don't have to waste time reading the whole stem. You see this point, you're jumping to the answer. If you haven't got a study partner, join one of these PLAB Facebook groups. I put one down below, and try and read through the posts that people post. People are always posting questions and working through answers, and people are explaining why things are wrong or right. If you can, ideally, you should work through these questions about 3 times. Please don't try reading any textbook from front to back. It is an absolute waste of time. The way to use these textbooks, so the 2 recommended ones, first one is the Oxford Handbook of Clinical Medicine and the Oxford Handbook of Clinical Specialties. If you're working through these questions and you want to check or double check points, the best way to go about it is to refer to those books to check if you don't want to Google them, because I personally prefer Google. A good resource for also checking answers is the Nice CKS website. You can just check up-to-date guidelines on certain situations, like the asthma guidelines, which is commonly tested, by the way. I would say 2 weeks before the exam, you should start doing questions under time conditions. Can I just suggest, when it comes to multiple choice questions and timing, the best way to approach questions, in my opinion, when you've got a long stem that you have to read and you've got 5 options, A to E, I start off by reading the last sentence. So the last sentence might be like, I don't know, what is the best initial being what's the first investigation you do. Make sure you keep that in your mind. Then look at the options. You might see chest x-ray, ultrasound, whatever, and then you can go to the stem, the rest of the stem. The reason why I suggest this approach is because, and this is, I can't remember where I learned this from, but the reason why I suggest this approach is because some questions you can answer right away by reading just the last sentence. You don't need to read the whole stem. Trust me, those stems will distract. Some of them are like 5-6 lines longer, and you just get to the end and you're like, I really did not need to read that. I just did the last sentence. So that's my approach for all multiple questions. Read the last sentence, look at all the options. Even if you can't get the answer that way you kind of know what to pick out from the stem when you know what the question is at the end, and also what the options are, so what you should be picking out from the stem. And I hope that kind of helped. And this is a slightly random point, but I think most people, there are going to be some questions in an exam that you just be like, I have no clue. Like, you can't even make an educated guess about it. You can't eliminate points. You just have no clue what this is. I recommend you just have a letter before you go into the exam, your lucky letter. Mine was C. So if I wasn't sure, I would say, I think I had about 10 questions roughly that I was just like, I'm really not sure what this is. And I just picked C for all of them, because there's some maths explanation behind it, but there's a higher chance of you getting some of those questions right if you put a consistent C or lucky letter as opposed to putting a random one each time. Because the way the exam is set up, there's going to be a certain percentage of questions that will have A as the answer, B as the answer, C as the answer. Do you get what I mean? So pick one lucky letter as the one you always use if you're absolutely stuck on what to do. Your chances are slightly higher of getting it right. And I learned that from the Kaplan course I attended for my UK CAT in the UK a long time ago. I personally attended the Samson course for PLAB 1 and would I recommend it? Yes. Do I think it's a must? No, definitely not. I think loads of people pass PLAB 1 without attending any course. It's just that for the type of learner I am, I'm an audio-visual learner, and I hope you guys know what kind of learners you are, but I'm not the kind of person that really gets, like, I don't really learn that much by reading a lot of text. I learn a lot by watching and listening to somebody saying something to me. That's the way I learn, and that's why I think I benefited from a course. Those 1,700 MCQs that I've put in the description box down below is basically what you work through in Samson. Samson has just kind of refined them a little bit, taking out some of the errors, and it's basically the same thing rotating and going around. So you don't need to attend Samson to get those MCQs. But one thing I would recommend, even if you don't want to attend Samson, is to do the mock exams. At the end of the course, I took 8 mock exams, and I think that's really what helped me pass. You get used to the timing of the exam, but not just that, it's the fact that you get to work through those questions again in a class, and they get to explain to you why certain things are right or wrong. You can mimic this same effect at home if you can't attend a course by getting a study partner. On Facebook, it can be on Skype, but just having somebody that you guys can remind each other on points and, you know, criticize each other is very, very, very helpful. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I've got another video coming on PLAB 2, on how to prepare for PLAB 2, which I feel is a bit more complicated to pass. Subscribe so you don't miss that video coming within the next few weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and see you guys in my next video. Bye.